Madam Web. Is it a good movie? I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the movie. It. Yeah, it's not bad. One thing that it reminded me of, in a good way, because when I say what it reminds me of, it's gonna sound like I'm bashing the out of this movie, okay?
Oh boy.
Madam Web came out this past weekend. Finally hit theaters after just years of wondering if this movie would be good, if it would come out.
Is it real?
Is it real? What can we say about Madam Web that hasn't already been said by every other person on the internet? Well, I'll tell you what we can say.
It's not that bad.
It's fun.
It's okay.
There
are worse movies to watch out there.
I'm going to say this. It does not deserve the heat, the hatred that it's getting online.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Is it a good movie? I mean, it's not a great movie. I wouldn't necessarily say it's not good. I would just say it's fun. It was, I enjoyed myself. I did enjoy the movie. Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Fuck it. Yeah, let's say I enjoyed it. Why not? Maggie will return. She's going to get a bottle. So, here's the thing. Madam Web is not a great movie, but Madam Web reminds me a lot of like the mid 2000s superhero films that we would get, like Daredevil or Ghost Rider, or any of those, like the Punisher, right? Like the Thomas Jane Punisher movie. Like, it's not bad. Is it as good as what like we have nowadays? No. I mean, it's not like as good as Spiderman No Way Home. It's not as good as that. But it's not bad. It's just not amazing. And it has nothing to do with the greater Marvel MCU or Spider-Man Sony universes. Like, it is its own thing. Now, again, we'll get into spoilers later, and we'll talk about, like, how, if it ties in, what may tie in, all that bunch of stuff. We'll get into all that during the spoilers. But for the majority, I think the thing I enjoy a lot about this movie is that it is pretty standalone. Like, there's lots of references, of course. I gotcha. There's lots of references to Spider-Man, like just in general. It is set in the Spider-Man universe. Mm-hmm. We don't know which Spider-Man universe, but it's set in like Spider-Man is a character that will exist one day in the show.
Yeah.
Like kind of like Krypton. The show Krypton was set in a Superman universe of some kind. Maybe it was Man of Steel. Maybe it was Superman and Lois. We don't know, but like a Superman would exist in Krypton at some point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what this is. Like, it's set in a universe where Spider-Man will exist. It was, I don't know. I really liked it. Like, not like, I would give it a 3. Like, I don't want to oversell it. But like, I actually enjoyed the dynamics of the main characters. Like Dakota Johnson. Mm-hmm. I almost said Dakota Fanning. Dakota Johnson and like the teenagers that she has with her. I use quotes on that because I'm pretty sure they're like much 20s. Older than than what their younger versions are. She's annoyed as shit by them.
Yeah.
And like, I like that because that's true. Yeah. Like if I had to drive around 3 teenage girls
and they're trying to tell you what to do the whole time.
Like I'd want to blow my brains out, Yeah. I mean, not to be too, harsh about it, but like, I don't know. It seemed realistic that she was just annoyed as shit by him, right?
Yeah.
Like her performance, right? I think fit this character perfectly.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to her.
Yeah.
Because she's dry anyways.
Yes, very dry. Drier than this Dune bucket, all right?
Oh, Jesus. Why'd you have to bring that into this?
Because it's already here. Why would I not bring it up?
Anyway. I told you in the car on the way home that if I, because I think everybody knows when this takes place, right?
It takes place in 2004?
Yeah. Okay, if this movie came out in 2004 and I was in high school.
Yeah.
I would have been all about this.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not about this right now, but I'm just saying from that viewpoint for myself as a teenager back then, wanting... I'll be honest. I would daydream about being Spider Woman.
Yeah. Like your own version of Spider Woman.
Yeah.
Like if Spider-Man was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I thought that would be a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And then years later, I'm like, oh my God, there is one. But yeah, I really
But instead you had
this.
shit like Catwoman.
Yeah.
Or Elektra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't watch Elektra, so.
Well.
Still haven't.
I own it like 4 times.
Yeah, no, Matt, we bring this up every time. I still haven't watched Elektra. Like, I've only seen pieces.
We'll watch it eventually. One day we have to watch it. So, I mean, and we will. But you're not missing much. So, like, I don't know. I would say the thing I also enjoyed about Madam Web is that it's pretty straightforward. Like...
Oh, it's not going to trick you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I enjoyed the fact that it was its own thing and that it wasn't trying to like carry 18 plots forward. And it wasn't trying to like say that it was kind of maybe a part of this universe and maybe a part of that universe and like trying to trick people into thinking that it's more than what it was. Like the closest it gets to like tricking people is like just in the advertising, you can see like that they have some of these characters in like their future spider costumes. And like that does happen. Like it does show that in the movie, but it is very, very little that gets shown. And so like that's like the closest I would say to being like trickery. But it doesn't feel like that,
No.
And I'll say this one thing that it reminded me of, in a good way. Okay, this is gonna sound like a bad thing, but I mean it in like an endearing way. Okay. Because when I say what it reminds me of, it's gonna sound like I'm bashing the shit out of this movie. Okay.
Oh boy.
It reminded me a little bit of the WB series.
Oh yeah.
Birds of Prey. Okay, like, but in a good way. Like I never really liked the Birds of Prey TV series.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but it wasn't good. And like, it was just seeing this kind of reminded me of like being like a senior in high school, and you know, me and my friends are gonna go watch this new comic book movie that just come out, and like, the costumes are gonna look wild, and maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be a little goofy or cheesy, but we're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
And like, that's what this movie gave me.
Yeah, that's what it gave me too, because I remember when I turned 13, the first Spiderman movie came out.
Yeah.
With Tobey Maguire. And I wanted to do that for my birthday, go to a movie theater with my cousin and watch it. And like, that's what it put me in mind of too. Is just, hey, brand new superhero movie. Yeah. Heck yeah. Spider-Man. Heck yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I took it for granted back in the day that like having our individual superhero movies that didn't connect and stuff. Like, even though I still very much want the MCU. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say I don't want that anymore. And like, I love an overarching story, and there will always be a part of that that's just very, very like enticing to me. Just being able to watch like this through line through like 8 different franchises. Right? Like, I love that. But there is just something refreshing about, hey, there's just this movie. Maybe there'll be another one, and maybe one day it'll turn into something. Maybe, but like
right now,
it
as
might
it by
not.
itself, it's fun.
Yeah, and like it's nice to just be able to watch it and go away, and it's done. Like, I'm not having to do my homework on it. I'm not having to, keep track of it where it takes place within the time frame of other things and other projects. Like, I can just watch this and just, take it for what it is and move on. And like, I don't know, it's simple. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah. But like, it's just kind of refreshing to just watch the movie, enjoy it, and then not have to think about it after.
Yeah, totally. You don't have to speculate anything.
Yeah.
It's nice. And this is not a spoiler or anything, but there's no post-credits.
Yeah, no post-credit scene. It ends.
It ends.
And like, I don't know.
That was kind of nice.
Yeah, it really was. Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like spoiled because like, oh, everything fits together and it's all like, I do love all that stuff, but it's just nice to be able to just have a movie and not have to worry about how it ties into everything and theorizing about it. Like, I have no theories. I have maybe like one theory. Maybe. I haven't even thought it through, but like I maybe have one theory about like something in this movie. Yeah. Maybe, But like, I don't know. We watched it. It was fun. That was it. There you go. Maggie, was there anything in the
chat? There's a lot to catch up on in chat, but I'll try to.
Oh, you're good.
Go through it quick. Let's see. Well, I'm not bringing up that bucket again. Travis says, I'll be seeing Modern Web tomorrow after getting a root canal. Oh, God bless you.
I mean, you're probably in the right headspace.
And I imagine this will be marginally less painful than that. Hearing a somewhat positive review is refreshing. And the first time I dropped in, I said Madam Web looked like an NBC show from 2005 that got canceled after 6 episodes. Did it feel anything like that? I think we answered your question.
Yeah.
Hello, Game City Savior.
Game City Savior, what's up?
Hello late, man. And Travis also said, as bad as some of Sony's films always end up looking forward to the next one. I mean, it does pique your curiosity a bit. You know, like, ooh, what are they going to do?
Will they get it right this time?
Will they ever get it right? Eric says, so above or below the Marvels, since both had really bad reactions by the public, what's your ranking on Sony Spider-Man spinoffs?
So I'm glad you brought that up, Eric. Yes. We do have a list. We're not going to use that list, though, of non-MCU Marvel films.
Yes.
Because it's really just based off memory, and like we haven't done a complete rewatch of those, and I like legitimately ranked them. So, but I think we can kind of give a similar response to that. So I would say me personally, I would say I liked the Marvels a little bit more than this.
Yeah, same here. Like, which I have a soft spot for Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
like the dynamics between the three of them, even though that's not a lot in the movie of the Marvels, but anytime they're all like working together or what's it called, like training together and stuff, like I really enjoy all that stuff. Now the stuff with like Nick Fury and the cats and stuff, even though that stuff's fun, like it's pretty throwaway, like at the end of the day, but I would say that the Marvels itself is just a better movie than Madam Web.
Yeah.
But I don't think Madam Web is nearly as bad as it's getting trashed.
No.
Like the fact that people are saying it's like the worst fucking movie ever made is insane to me.
I was thinking about this today, about whenever we started talking about this part. I have seen movies where like either the director or whatever died while making a film.
Like AI?
Well, not AI necessarily, but like there's one that comes to my mind back when I was a kid. It was some guy's version of Aladdin. And the guy that animated it died while he was like fixing it up and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I have watched that unfinished animation.
Yeah.
Like there are so many worse things to watch.
Like, I mean, yeah. Like, I mean, I can think of, I mean, there's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything right off the bat that I would say it's better than.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as like the Sony level of stuff, like I would say I'd probably put Venom at number 1. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
And then this would be number 2.
Yes.
And then the other 2 I would just pass on.
Yeah. We still haven't watched Morbius. We watched Let There Be Carnage, and we absolutely hated it.
I hated Let There Be Carnage. Like, to me, Let There Be Carnage was much more egregious just because they completely, like, it was all over the place tonally.
Yeah.
And whereas this movie is what it is, like, even if they wanted to change Carnage, right? If they wanted to make him like less sadistic, or if they wanted to make him more comical, or whatever, and like when Venom is out like doing like DJ stuff, like if they wanted to do stuff like that, that's fine, but like tonally it should make sense, and like it's just, it doesn't, like throughout the whole movie. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I think like them trying to act like it tied back into the MCU is just like that annoys me, We still haven't watched Morbius yet, but I imagine I like this more than Morbius, more than likely.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that I would like Morbius more.
That one clip we saw from Morbius, it showed Matt Smith as a vampire
Yeah.
briefly. I was just like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. And just, what's his name? Jared Leto.
Yes.
Like, he's like, hey, I'm just kidding. It's just your pal, Dr. Morbius.
Yeah.
I'm like, I really don't want to watch that, you know?
No.
But no, I mean, it's, you know, I don't, it's better than Elektra.
We're giving Travis hope that it's better than Morbius and Let There Be Carnage.
I mean, to me, it is.
It is.
I think it's easily better than Let There Be Carnage.
Eric, I love how you put me in 2004 leaving the movie theater stoked. Right about now, the folks
out now. That just makes me think of the Digimon movie.
Travis also said, I got to see Spider-Man 3 on my 9th birthday, I think. And I remember being devastated that Harry died, and I was dead silent the next day at school.
I'm going to say something controversial. I think I would say I like this more than Spider-Man 3.
I could say that because that movie's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Like,
and also,
it's got some good stuff, but it's just a mess.
It's a mess.
And
because they're just pushing Sam Raimi in the like.
Yeah.
And he already had like a plan, and they're like, no, screw your plan. You got to do this and this. And he's like, you know what? Just gonna screw it all.
Yeah. And like, I feel like just the way that they handle like Peter going bad as like a joke. Like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just not the right call. Raimi. You know, it's just, I don't know. But at the same time, that's my preconceived notions from the shows and from the comics.
Yeah.
So like, I could see like other people not feeling like that was out of place. Whereas with Madam Web, the only connection I have with the character was from the animated series. And this is very much not that.
No.
But I do like this version. Yeah. Like, you know, this take on it. I mean,
like, the only exposure we had to Madam Web before this was the animated show
in
the 90s. And so, like, in our mind, it's always been Madam Web is an old lady.
Right.
Sitting in this chair with this really weird-ass dress on, you know, with a bunch of spider webs around her. So, like, whenever it was first announced, I was like, how are they going to make this movie? This old lady. Like, in this, Dakota Johnson, I know she was already tied to it at the beginning of it, whenever they announced it. I was like, she gonna play an old lady? Like, how's this gonna work? But it works.
Yeah. I will say, I think, as far as like negative stuff on it, I think the very ending, which I'm not going to talk about, obviously, but I'm just going to say I think the ending kind of falls flat for me a little bit. Like, it just feels not, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, because obviously I don't want to spoil anything, but it just feels a bit, not rushed. It's not that it's rushed, it's just that it's kind of
predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it really felt like Dakota Johnson, this is the ending's the only time I felt like she literally didn't give a shit about anything.
I think she did.
You know? That's fine.
Yeah, that's
fine.
She's probably just done with it by then. She's like, this is the last thing I've got to
But
film.
like, because it's, like, I can't tell if she's even acting, you know?
I think she's just talking.
Like, because to me, it seems like she's about to laugh almost everything she's saying, you know? But like she just thinks this is really stupid, you know? And I mean, it is what it is. But like, I would say that, there's like one part where, I don't really think this is a spoiler, so I'll leave it as vague as I can. But at one point, Dakota Johnson and the three girls split up. Mm-hmm. And like, that was like the first time that I felt like the movie was just making a stupid choice. Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. They had me, but now they don't. That's what he told me.
I was like, I can buy the choices that have been made so far. But like that choice just felt really stupid.
Yeah, it was.
And like it was only to make the plot go forward. Sorry. As far as the bad guy, again, I don't have any any prior knowledge of this guy. I know he's been in the comics and stuff, and that he doesn't dress like Spider-Man. But I mean, I kind of liked it that he dressed like Spider-Man. I mean, like, even if that's dumb, maybe it is. I don't know. But I liked it.
And also, his outfit's based on other things in the movie.
Yes, yeah. Like, I will say it does make more sense within the context of the film. Mm-hmm. Like, and I'll say that about everything. Like, any of like the spider things that are being referenced, like, it makes sense within the context of the movie. It's not just this movie's version of like Spider-Man's story. Like, to me, I can see like where this could happen, almost like how Blue Beetle could happen within the same universe as like Man of Steel, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even though they're
Sorry,
very
Betty.
different, like nothing about it feels like that oh, well, this beetle existing is like so outrageously different from the Man of Steel universe,
Yeah.
you know? And so like the way they set up Madam Web and like the powers and stuff that happens in the movie,
Yeah.
like it feels like it makes sense within the universe. If there was like, if this did ever connect to a Spider-Man universe, it wouldn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
To me anyway.
Yeah. Eric asked, is let's see, Sydney Sweeney's performance award winner performance or meh?
I would say more than meh.
Yeah, it's more than meh.
I wouldn't say it's award winning.
No.
I think she does a really good job.
Yes, she does.
Honestly, I think all three of the teams
yeah.
like do a really good job.
Excuse you, sir.
Like, I think the only one, I can't think of her name. She's a bit over the top.
Yeah.
Like, just she's kind of like mad
Yeah.
a lot, and like
Oops, sorry. Buddy.
it almost teeters into what's the word? Like, trying to think of the word. Like, we're generic, you know. Whereas like Sydney Sweeney, I feel like she does a good job of like her character being somewhat dumb, but kind of like shy, but also
She's
like
naive.
Yeah, naive, kind of worried, and like they all just come across as very earnest teenagers.
Yes.
In the most like, and they can be super annoying, but they're not annoying in a God, I wish this character would go away. They're annoying in a yeah, this is exactly what a freaking 15-year-old would be doing at this time, you know.
Also, Travis said, Let There Be Carnage was so bizarre on rewatch. It legit feels like the jokes / humor was written by a computer trying to emulate what makes people laugh.
Yeah, honestly. Yes, I completely 100% agree with that. It's all over the place. It just makes, I don't know, it's like it's trying so hard to be two very different movies at the same time, and neither of them are good. So they're just both really bad.
I just remember us sitting there watching it, we're like, why has this been made? Why are we watching this right now?
Well, it's a good thing we didn't pay for it. No,
What'd you
just
say?
leave it at that. Any other comments to catch up on?
Let's see. And Travis says, in terms of the future, I do think there's something compelling about a character who loses her ability to live life, but can see the potential of lives of others around her, helping them to do so.
Yeah.
And Game City Savior said, I didn't watch the movie, but I'm pretty sure the end was odd because whatever opened
Ending
they had was closed, locked up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying. And we'll talk about it in spoilers.
And then Eric said Helen Mirren as Madam Web, I think, would make it more accurate.
I mean, she did Shazam too, so I guess anything's possible, you know.
I thought, but I mean, this lady's not with us no longer on this earth. Rest in peace, Betty White. But
Betty White could have been, and I could see her being like the future version of this.
Yes.
You know, like I think she could have nailed that. I mean, honestly, like if we never get the old lady Madam Web, I'm okay. Like,
I'm fine too.
Like, I think it's fun. I mean, you know, she's a cool character, but like, especially when you start delving into like the web of life and destiny and shit, like that stuff gets so murky so quick. And then you're also trying to, you know, straddle that line along with like the multiverse of the MCU. And it's a lot to deal with, but I think it can work. Anything else we want to talk about the movie before we get into spoilers? I will say the end credits song is the most insane.
Okay, this whole soundtrack to this movie is the most confusing. Yes. Like at one point they did nail it. Like, hey, yeah, that's music from 2004. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess there was one. Yeah.
Two. There's two.
But most of the time it's music
and I was
from
like, oh yeah, High School Maggie been into this. And then
most of the time it's mid-90s.
Yeah, we're like, why mid-90s?
And late 80s.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know if they really knew when this was going to take place until after they landed on 2004. But like, because the music choices are just everywhere. I won't tell you what the ending song is. We'll talk about it in spoilers, but it's so random. And like, it's not random in like a, it's not random in like a, like, oh my God, it's blowing my mind how random. It's random in like a legitimate, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why this?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a bad song or anything. It's just
like, it just didn't
never
fit.
in a million years.
Yeah.
You know? I see here Travis Mitchell says, the rumors were this was meant to be set in the universe of one of the 3 Spider-Men, but they realized they messed up the timeline and had to change it. I could see that. I think the only one, okay. I would say it's most certainly, definitely not set in any of them. But if they did retcon it into one, the only one that it would make sense would be the Tom Holland universe.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one that would make sense. And even then, I still don't necessarily think it would work because 2004 is when this movie takes place. And like we find Peter in Civil War in 2016. Mm-hmm. That's only 12 years after this. So, yeah. We'll talk spoilers. Not that there's really a spoiler in regards to this, but we'll tell you some more about like the timeline stuff. So I think we've said a lot of what we needed to say, but I would say that if you saw the trailer for this and you had any inkling that it might be worth watching, I would say go check it out.
Yeah, go for it.
If you like superhero films and you're just wanting a movie to watch, I think you should watch it. I think that, that there's a lot worse movies. I think the internet has been way too hard on this one. I think that the fact that it's got like a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes is insane.
Ridiculous.
And it's not, I don't know. I think it does nothing so egregious that it makes me like hate it at all. Like I said, I give it a 3, like I liked it. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Maybe, if it goes on sale for $4.99, I might buy it. But like, it was fun enough. And if it was on somewhere, like if I was like waiting in the, for my car to get fixed and it was playing, like, I'd be like, oh, cool. Like there are worse things that could be on, know?
Yes.
So I mean, yeah, I know that's not like a ringing endorsement. So I mean, feel free to not go like watch it in theaters or anything, but I definitely don't think it's one that you should avoid at all costs. Like it was a good time. What?
It's just, Eric said, I'll spoil the end credit song is Bop by Hanson.
It's almost would make as much sense as that being the end credit song.
Yes. And Travis Mitchell said, I'm okay with Adam Scott as Tom Holland's Uncle Ben.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
So we'll get into spoilers. So everybody, here comes spoilers. I can't believe Madam Web was dead the whole time.
There's your alert. If you don't want to know anything, get out of here.
Oh, sorry. Are they gone?
Yeah.
I can't believe Madam Web was dead the whole time. The end credits song was the Cranberries. All my life is changing every day in every possible way. That's Cranberries, right? Yeah. From You've Got Mail. That's where I know it from.
Like me, I was like, what?
And like it's right after this epic ending of like a future vision of like the girls in their like spider outfits and stuff. And then it just like hard cuts, does like the visual effect, and then it's like, oh my life. It's so fucking weird. Okay, so spoiler section. I think the ending when first off, Madam Web gets turned blonde.
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean that's part of it.
Also, we have a question: is she really paralyzed?
We don't know if she's paralyzed.
Because like in a wheelchair,
unless we missed it, unless like they showed it and we missed it, because she does have a fall into the water,
and I mean it.
Yeah,
I think,
and like it could paralyze her, but they make it very known that she's blonde. Like they make that very much in your face. You see the firework that makes her blonde. Like, I'm sorry, it sounds stupid when I say it out loud, that it was a firework that makes her blonde. But like, so we see that, we see the scars, like they show her in the hospital and stuff. And then like the next scene, she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And like rolling around. And it's like, well, I don't know if like she had to, like, if she's just blonde, she doesn't have to be in a wheelchair. So I'm assuming she's paralyzed, but I don't know, I don't know. So, but anyway, they show that, and then it shows like this future vision. And that's the part that kind of reminds me of the Birds of Prey show. Yeah. In an endearing way. But like, it also shows Dakota Johnson, as like an ethereal Madam Web that's like also fighting by their side, and like that part was kind of
some rad sunglasses there too, man.
I just didn't like her being there like spiritually with them. Like, I don't know, I just felt like you didn't have to do that. Like, I feel like she was kind of playing the same role as like Babs.
Yeah.
As what's it called?
Paraplegic.
No, I'm sorry. Like her name. Oracle.
Oh, Oracle. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's kind of the role she was fulfilling, And so like she didn't have to be in the field as like an astral projection form, I just feel like that was just kind of unnecessary. Yeah. I think one of the things that got an eye roll from Maggie and me to an extent, like, I don't think it was as egregious, but how they bring in with great power comes great responsibility. Like, I mean, it's fine.
He called it. He's like, they're going to say it.
I do. They're going to say it.
They're
but
going
like,
to say it.
When they say, I don't forget how they word it. Do you remember? It's like, when you have this great power,
they don't really say
there's a responsibility.
Yeah,
it's like, God, I can't remember how.
Or something like that.
Like, I forget what it is, but like,
they don't flat out say it like Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Like, they reword it like,
yes, but it's not
so
like
obvious.
It's not as bad as like in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies when he's like, when they use like 12 words to say it instead of 3. He's like, your father thought that if you had a lot of the ability to take care of things, then you had a duty to make sure you did those things for the good of all, Like, it's like, how can we say this? Like, they just pumped it into a thesaurus and just got out every word different, I think I like the subplot of Mary.
Yes.
And like
Emma Roberts, man.
Yeah, Emma Roberts is Peter's mom.
Yeah.
Totally down with that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And like, we did get Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. A little tiny baby Peter Parker, which they never say his name, right?
Nope.
They never say Peter.
No.
So there's plausible deniability. I do like, honestly, I know people are going to be like, oh yeah, it's Uncle Ben's work friend or whatever. Like, that's what this movie's about. Yeah. Like, I think the way they handled Uncle Ben was good.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I thought that, it could have just been a nonchalant, oh yeah, here's my partner, his name's Ben Parker.
Yeah.
But like, he's an actual character.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Adam Scott does a good job.
Yeah, he does.
And like, he's actually involved in the story throughout the movie.
And she asked him, like, kind of at the beginning, she's like, oh, you seeing someone?
Yeah. Which implies that they had something.
Yeah.
I feel like they had
That's
like
a
fling, and then it was kind of done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. And she's like, what's her name?
Yeah.
And like,
he never
says May. Yeah. Never. But she's like, oh, it must be serious.
Which I could see, like, okay, so kind of touching back, I feel like it does kind of make sense for him to be Tom Holland's Uncle Ben. Mm-hmm. I think that the only thing that kind of falls apart there is Peter is born in this movie, and it's set in 2004.
Yeah.
So he'd only be 12 when it comes to Civil War.
Yeah.
I feel like that obviously makes it not work.
Yeah.
Even though they also said that there was 8 years between 2012 and Homecoming. Because Zendaya, or not Zendaya, but the Vulture's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, drew that picture, and like, if they're really going by the 4 years that it had been, then she would have been like 12 drawing this like 3-year-old's artwork of the Avengers, But I mean, and they also said that was, just this is just kind of a mess up. You know, they didn't mean to. But no, like I think I don't know. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I thought like I love how it was kind of like a Final Destination where like she would keep seeing like shit go wrong and then she would try again to do it different and better.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I thought that was kind of cool, you know? I mean, it never got me, and I don't know if it was supposed to like be like, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Like you thought this was really happening, but it turns out it was just a vision. Like no, when everyone dies every time, like it I don't think it was supposed to get you, you know, like, oh, how the fuck is the movie going to continue? Yeah. Everybody's dead. No. Oh, it was just a vision. Like, I don't think that was the point of what they were doing. No. It does make more sense why everybody would think Spider-Man's a bad guy. Yeah. Because this fuck has been running around dressed as fucking evil Spider-Man, you know?
Which his suit is based off of the Amazon or Peruvian spider people that live out there
which fits within the context of the film. And I kind of like that. Like I kind of like that they had like the ropes and stuff around them, like you know, they were painted red and like
they had the black strings on them like a web.
Like I like that. I think that kind of helped lend itself to making more sense within this world. And I could see how if this spider exists in the Amazon, that you know, Oscorp or whoever making the genetically altered spider or the radioactive spider, whatever the case may be, that like even trying to like scientifically remake this spider that exists in the wild. And like that kind of makes more sense as to why they would even be thinking, oh, let's make a super spider, you know, like, well, we're trying to recapture like what this fucking shit is in the wild, you know. It's kind of like making dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. You know, like it just makes a little more sense as to why someone would actually be trying to do that. Again, I don't think this is actually going to tie on to anything. And that's fine. I don't think it needs to. But, you know, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, I forget what her name is, but May Parker, who plays her.
Oh, that's not May.
Or I'm sorry, Mary Parker. Sorry.
Emma Stone. Yeah. Not Emma Stone. Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts. I thought she did a great job. And her and Ben playing off of each other, which we never see. We never see Ben's brother because she's his sister-in-law.
Oh, I thought that was his sister.
No, because then her last name wouldn't be Parker.
Oh yeah, that is true. My bad.
No.
Didn't even.
It's okay. No worries.
I gotta catch up chat real quick.
Yo.
Travis said, was there a moment in the film where it actually sparked any early 2000s nostalgia for you guys? If so, what was it? There's two songs. There was Toxic by Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah.
And then Scandalous played. And I was just like jamming to Scandalous.
I forgot about Toxic playing.
Yeah.
It also plays Breakfast at Tiffany's. Like that was another song. And Four Non Blondes plays, which again, like is not like they're all over the place with the soundtrack if they're trying to capture the early odds, you know. And
then about the Cranberry song, we got a few comments about it. Travis said, if someone's first job was at a grocery store, I love Dreams by Cranberry.
Dreams, that's what it was.
But I do like its usage in the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank.
We still have not watched that one. Not. Maggie.
Travis also said, oh, I thought you were saying she was blonde. Haha, like it was a big reveal at the end that she was dyeing her hair.
Oh, no.
And Games to Savory asked, was that Cranberry song on the one from the anti-drug commercial back in the day? Which, Travis, I agree with you. I think it was Zombie for the drug commercial.
And you say, it's not me, it's not my mind, in your head,
Okay. And Travis said, I don't have a problem with Ben rewording it. He was at a different time in his life and hadn't contextualized it to
it's not life. Ben that says it.
No, it's not Ben. I think he means in Amazing.
When Ben uses it again. Oh.
And Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I think that's when it popped up was when you were talking about
gotcha. The way he says it in that one.
And he also said, I'm relieved to hear Adam Scott and Emma Roberts aren't just cameos in the movie.
Full characters. Especially Ben.
Game City Savior said, I basically said just because Sydney knows how to cry doesn't make her a perfect actress. She's just kind of cute, even though she appears like she's been up for 78 hours.
Oh my God, Game City Savior.
Golly.
No, I mean,
First cut is the deepest.
I don't think she's. I mean, I haven't really. I don't think I've seen her in anything but this.
I don't think so.
But I mean, she does a good job in it. I mean, I don't think she's like a perfect actress either. I don't think she's a bad actress. Like, she does a really good job.
Yeah.
She comes across like a 16-year-old teenager that's annoying as shit sometimes, you know. But like, she's also very earnest in like being scared of, you know, and like feeling alone.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like, she captures the teen angst. You know.
Looking across the diner at a bunch of basketball players.
Yeah. Like, and there's just enough of that it doesn't get annoying, but it does really fulfill the fact that that's who they are. And the fact that the Madam Web fucking hates them, like, it just makes that work so much better.
Like,
she's like, I'm not kidnapping you.
Yeah. Well, unlike when she gets them and she's mad at them, and they're like, but we thought, she said, no, you about got yourselves killed.
Yeah.
She's like, and you didn't listen to me. So yeah, and Sydney Sweeney says, yeah, I'm so sorry. She said, you should be so sorry, and shuts the cab window.
Yeah. I will say, all the times that Madam Web steals cars is funny.
Yes.
Like, of course. Do you want to talk about the driving thing? You can talk about it if you want to.
If you cut out all non-car driving scenes.
This is the worst critique of this movie.
It's not a critique. I was trying to make a joke.
It feels like you're like trying really hard to shit on this. And you're just like, man, they drive a lot of this movie.
Dakota Johnson drives a whole lot in this movie. She could drive an ambulance,
What is this, Gran Turismo or something?
It's Fast and Furious.
They wish. Now, when she decides to leave the girls at the campfire
with a bag of jerky.
Yeah, that was the first time I was like, okay, that's stupid. Like, that's a dumb choice. And then when she also chooses to leave them for a week so she can go to the Amazon.
Yeah.
And they're just staying at Ben's house.
Yeah.
Like, for a week that these girls are busy. Like, that's also a bit stupid.
It's far-fetched.
Yeah. But, you know, other than that, it's fine. Like, you know, I don't think it was so dumb.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun, you know. Honestly, as far as like the nostalgia for the early 2000s, like, for real, the whole movie to me just feels like a movie made in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And like, that's what makes it nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
You know. And like, it's not great, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd rank it higher than, I mean, I'd put it higher than like Thor: The Dark World and Thor.
Yes.
And probably, well, definitely Secret Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Black Widow.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably put it above Black Widow.
Yes. I can't remember what came.
I can't think of anything else either. I mean, I would not put it above Incredible Hulk.
No.
That's probably about where I would tap it out.
Oh, sorry.
So, there you go. That's it.
That's it.
So yeah, let us know in the comments in the chat if you have watched it, what you thought about it. I'm definitely curious. I just don't get why everybody's like shitting all over it. It just doesn't. Don't get me wrong, it's not a fantastic movie, but I feel like it doesn't deserve all the hatred that it's getting.
Game C Savior, you just killed me. He said Madam Web's supposed to be sitting. That's why she's in so many car seats. Yes.
And they did try really hard to make her wheelchair in front of the window look like her big ass chair.
Yes.
From, like,
yeah, good God, man.
Dude, like, oh my God. Yeah. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. I hope they didn't spend a lot of money on it. Like, if this was made for $40 million, I would believe it. I think I heard it was made for $150 million. And if that's the case, they did way overspend. Yeah. Like, 150 is way too much. If they could have made this for like 40 or 50, I think that they'd be knocking it out of the park. Yeah. But if it was, what I've heard is like 150, and if it was, that's unfortunate, because it definitely won't make that back. Nor does it necessarily deserve to. You know, like it deserves to hit 50 or 100. Like I'd be okay if it hit 100. I don't think it definitely, if it did 1 billion, I'd be pretty pissed off. You know,
God.
I'd be like, why is this? But I kind of feel like the same way I felt when everybody shit all over, what was that other movie that everybody was crying? Well, I guess the Marvels, but also like Thor: Love and Thunder. Like everybody was ripping that to shreds, and I really didn't feel like it was a bad movie. And Quantumania, I mean, I didn't think it was a terrible movie, you know. And everybody was like, it was the fucking worst thing Marvel's ever made. It's like, I don't think it is, but you know, I'm not saying it's the best, but shit.
Travis, I love your question. I just now caught it, and I'm so sorry to read it. He said, "Please tell me Master Splinter appears from the campfire and starts talking to them, only to realize he showed up in the wrong fire." That's so great, man. And then he said, "I'd love in the sequel if they just leave Madam Web in an arcade. She thinks she's actually driving, but they plopped her in the crazy taxi arcade seat next to a kid picking his nose."
That's fucked up.
That is pretty messed up.
Because she's blonde. Like,
yes, I know.
Jesus. Fuck.
But you know what? She probably has the high score.
I mean, she got a lot of practice into this movie. Also, it's not getting a sequel. Like,
no, there's no way.
There's no way, man. I wish. Well, no, I don't wish that it would. I think we're fine with this being a one and done. But like, there's no way. There's no way this gets a sequel. No. There's no way, right?
No.
That's why I think you're crazy thinking that Madam Web will be even, like, you said number 1, right?
Yeah.
There's no way, Maggie. There's no way.
I'm hoping her positivity creates a wave. Yes.
Like maybe the backlash of people hating against it. Yeah, we'll see.
That's what I'm trying to calculate.